Welcome to the Local Marketing Source Weekly Update, brought to you by localmarketingsource.com.
This week's Local Marketing Update is brought to you by Scott Gallagher. Scott is the co-founder of Local Marketing Source and has become the recognized expert in providing online marketing services to local businesses. Follow Scott on Twitter at ScottGallagher5 and on Facebook.com/ScottPGallagher.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Scott Gallagher here with Local Marketing Source and bringing you our weekly local marketing industry update. I thought I would throw on the camera today and probably should have brushed my hair prior to this call, but nonetheless, I want to thank everybody for that's on the line right now. We got a couple of different housekeeping items to talk about. First, we are launching the LMS Intensive Workshop. And that is going to be at the end of this month. If you didn't have a chance to watch our YouTube live cast today, I went through some of that. If you've got any questions, you can definitely email me and ask me. I will be sending out some email content very shortly in regards to that program. And we've only got 10 seats available for it. It is a 2-day event, and it should be a really, really good time. So really looking forward to that. But this week, we're going to talk about JCPenney, and are they breaking the law? We get to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl and how that applies to local and some statistics with that. And we can also say and have some discussions about the local data ecosystem. It's finally gotten a little more friendly. Now, just quickly on that workshop, what this is it's a 2-day event. It's going to be online. We're going to be connected via Skype. We've got an itinerary involved. We're going to install Dropbox on your computer with all of my templated files and everything. We're going to create a plan and have some execution and work together for 2.5 full days, probably a total of 30 hours. It's going to be a long, tough weekend, but nonetheless, it is there to help individuals and to get going. It's kind of an intermediary point between the membership and the premium program. We've had such great success with the premium program that we decided to launch a membership. It's about 10% of the price. It's normally we're going to price it at about $1,000, and for the first 10 members that join and come on, I've given it to you for $500. And you know, just like our membership and just like the premium program, if this is not for you, we'll give you a full refund during the first day if you are not satisfied with that program. So if you're at any stage, I think this is something that you may want to consider. You can always call me, email me if you've got any questions. But nonetheless, let's move on. And JCPenney. Now, JCPenney is offering $500 sweepstake entry for a review. You leave them a review, you get your chance to win $500. Is this legal? It's a violation of the terms and conditions. They're going to get themselves in trouble. There's nothing illegal about it. And they've actually raised the stakes. With some of my research, I found between $500 and $1,000, and so they raised the stakes in midstream of the campaign. How is this different than asking for a survey, though? And that's the one question that I typically have right now, and that is going to have to be dispelled in some sort of fashion or whatnot. You can definitely have people enter into a sweepstake for a survey, but not a review. And that is not something that is recommended at all. All right. So anybody that was in North America knows that we just had the Super Bowl. And anybody knows that the Super Bowl, I think a Super Bowl ad was about $6 million this time around, maybe 6.5. And it's expensive. And I had one of my marketing friends and colleagues post on Facebook and saying, "Oh, how ineffective that is." And I don't know. I want to disagree that it was based off the data that was found. And what's traditional with television advertising now is the call to action, is that individuals can go and do a search immediately. And so there's a statistic that I want to share with you, is the number of searches. And what's happening here? We've talked about this. We've talked about different, where, as a marketer, where people are going to reside in creating that type of content. And so when somebody's watching TV and we want to get them to do a call to action, typically that may be a search or get them to go to a particular site. And last year, a year ago, 70% of all Super Bowl ad searches happened on mobile. 70% last year. This year, it went up naturally, and it went up a significant amount. 82% of all Super Bowl ad searches happen on a mobile device. It makes sense. Somebody's watching TV. They don't have a laptop with them on their lap or next to them. They've got their phone. They've got their tablet. And they're doing those particular types of searches. Now, why this is relevant and the reason why I wanted to talk about this is, again, mobile search and the functionality and the fact that your website should be mobile friendly and, some of those best practices. And it's very, very clear that, mobile is now surpassed the desktop in a big way. And we've got to think about that. And a lot of people don't. They're still following traditional SEO practices and whatnot. So, you've got to think about the user. 7% of those searches were on tablets, and 11% were on laptops and desktops, but 82% were on mobile. Now, what was another, this is not really relevant for local marketing or local SEO, but I think it was just interesting, is that the score of the game made a big impact. And last year, the Seahawks dominated the Broncos, and they won 43-8. And so the second half of the game, ad content rose significantly. In other words, when the game was boring, ad content went up. And so advertisers want boring games for big games, I would think. This year it was very different. One of the winners, according to Google, was Audi. It came out at the top with their Commander ad. And automotive brands have typically been the top of that as well. But I just thought I would share with you which ads came out. Number 1 was Audi. Number 2 was Acura. Number 3 was Universal Pictures for the Jason Bourne trailer. 4 was Honda. 5 was Kia. 6 was 20th Century Fox. 7 was Amazon. 8 was Doritos. So, all right. Now, I started out by saying that the local data ecosystem just got a little more friendly. We've seen the recent introduction of the Google My Business, as well as the GMB API, which is the Google My Business Application Program interface. But really, what does this mean for local marketers? So it was the middle of December of last year that Google launched the Google My Business API. What this does is it creates a completely new way for brands or businesses or agencies and platforms to get information about their locations into Google and Google Maps. The API was a game changer because it allowed owners of locations a lot more control on how that information appears on customer searches. And it really improves the customer experience by delivering more accurate and more comprehensive information. So the Google My Business, or GMB, it's the interface that businesses manage their business listings on Google. And businesses can claim and add locations, edit information, clean up closed and duplicate locations, and a lot more. the process was difficult in the past, and now with the Google My Business API, all businesses that make updates manually in the GMB dashboard, by bulk or one at a time, used to take a long time. It could take hours for a single location. And now with that new interface, it's streamlined across all business platforms within Google. So now that API, what it does is it removes most of the manual work by feeding the information into Google. You can just put it into a spreadsheet and update it for larger locations and businesses that have multiple locations. Now, what this means is by streamlining the GMB with the API, Google will receive more frequent content updates. You know, since all the extra steps involved with manual entry and bulk uploads means that updates were not happening as frequently within Google. Now, consumers rely on Google to get around, and they rely and expect the information to be correct and comprehensive. And essentially, this API is going to allow facilitation of that. Now, improvement in the accuracy and the amount of information that businesses provide to and through Google, it will ultimately improve the consumer experience and likely increase their trust and increase their expectations for information from Google. So if you've got 2+ locations that you're dealing with, I suggest utilizing that API. Now, currently the API does not allow for any outflow of information, only inflow. And I think that that's going to be the next step, because it would be great to output a lot of that data into our own analytics software and not have to rely on Google Analytics. So that's really it. There really wasn't a lot that changed this week. You know, I kind of struggled and said, well, let's talk about JCPenney's offer and just remind people that it's not advised. Definitely don't advise you to tell your clients to offer an incentive to leave a review. It's almost like begging. It's just not natural, and it's not organic, and it won't work. So I want to discourage you on that. But on that note, I'm going to take a couple of minutes here, not a couple of minutes, a few seconds, 30 seconds, and I'll be right back and answer any questions that anybody might have that's going on. If you've got some interest in the workshop, you let me know, and I can tell you a little bit more about it. We can get on the horn and whatever satisfies your needs. Okay? I will be right back.
Well, thanks for watching the Local Marketing Industry Update. We've got these things coming out every single week, so if you liked with what you heard, just click the button right above me right here to subscribe to our channel. If you'd like to get a little bit more, right over here, go check out localmarketingsource.com. We've got free reports that you can grab. You can even register for a free marketing course to get in and see the portal. Or just go ahead and follow us on some of the social channels. We'll be around. Until next time.